We are back for some more life hacks. Last time we covered the essentials and sleep hacks, and today we're covering some things that you can do with your body to make your life better. And also some cheap purchases and services that will save you time and headache.
After a bloody trail of poo.
I'm going to open controversially here and suggest that you have a Sitty wee. So just because you can wee standing up doesn't mean that you should. You'll also gain the favour of any female household members if you're a troglodyte that wees on the seat. There's a few advantages to having a Sitty wee. So I've mentioned female household members. If it's 4 a.m, you can catch a quick nap. You can meditate. You can check your phone. You can read something. You can also convert into a poo. Sometimes you're having a wee and you think, oh, actually, now that I'm here, I should probably poo. Now, every wee can be a query poo. Okay, next life hack is learn to roll, forwards, backwards and sideways. This is a massive upgrade to how versatile you are physically and improves your physical confidence. So this is coming from years of gymnastics and judo when I was younger, but if you know how to roll in any direction, you are much more confident in just throwing things and falling because you know that you can land safely. So give it a try, it'll improve your physical confidence the same way that if you're attempting a heavy squat, if you know how to safely fail that squat, then you're going to be able to commit to it. Whereas if you're not fully sure that you can, then that's when you start doing funky things like trying to twist away from the bar or not hitting full depth. Next life hack is get some holes, some grommets in your desk. So as you know, I'm a big proponent of tidy desk, tidy mind. And before I did this, when I had wires everywhere, it contributes to the level of stress when you sit down to work. Whereas if you've got them all passing through the grommet, your desk feels cleaner and you actually enjoy sitting down to work because you're working on a clean surface. Extra wires everywhere are just producing this kind of visual background noise. Next is to get an infrared sauna. So I've talked about that here, which goes through all the science and my experience, but it's just a cheap way to supercharge your breath work, your meditation, and to get all the benefits of a sauna without having to go to a gym with a sauna or without having one built in your house and moulding up the ceilings.
Hello, yes, pervert police. Yeah, he's outside again.
Next, one of my favourites, floss in the shower. How often do you think, oh, I really should floss, and you just constantly forget? Well, if you keep your dental floss in the shower, you're there anyway, you're doing that daily, hopefully, and it's already stacked the habit for you. It takes 1 minute, and the brand that I use is this one, which is plastic and estrogen free. Basically, I don't know if this technique's dentist approved or not, but I wrap it around both sides and then you can just get 2 teeth at a time, starting at the back and working your way forward. If you don't fancy that, you can always get a water flosser as well for about £25–30. Remember, all the products we mentioned are in the link in the Amazon storefront below. Okay, you've showered, you've flossed, you're feeling fresh, but usually you're a bit wet. Don't worry, I've trademarked a special maneuver, special technique to reduce your towel drying time by 40% based on my data collection. It is the full body flick. So front and back, torso and legs. Honestly, sounds stupid, give it a shot. Next physical life hack is Aliexpress. So Aliexpress is like budget Amazon. It's all the stuff that you would see at a dodgy Chinese market at 11 p.m.
Quality shipped from Russian Federation. Free gift.
And it's all in one place. Everything costs 64p and the postage is about 20p. The only catch is that it might take about 3 months to arrive. So it adds to the fun in my experience because you order something and then 3 months later you've totally forgotten what you ordered. Something comes in the post and you're like, ah.
Different spring for special strength. Look nice with friends.
So here's an example. So this is it. It's the world's most terrifying lighter. Look at that. Can you hear that? So there's my guilty pleasure. You can see the rest of our channel for more rubbish that we've bought on AliExpress, but this is great because you don't need to refuel it. You can charge it. And I use it to light my estrogen-free beeswax candles and essential oils. If you're wondering why I'm going on about estrogen, have a look at this video for more. The estrogen experiment that we did where I eliminated a lot of sources of cosmetics and artificial estrogens and my testosterone levels changed. So speaking of charging and Aliexpress, you've now bought a bunch of crap electronics and they all have a different charging port. So you need one charger to rule them all and in the darkness bind them. Well, don't worry. I should have prepared this earlier. Here we go. Sorry, I was just pulling it out of my grommet in my desk to keep the wires tidy, you see. But this is brilliant. A 3-way charger. It's got all 3 of those different heads for all your different Aliexpress nonsense. It's retractable. And I say it's retractable, there it is. Get one of them. Next life hack. So while there are some cool things like this, digital is not always better. So nowadays you can get smart locks, smart lights, smart Wi-Fi kettles, microwave controls that require a PhD to operate. And actually, quite often going back to dumb technology is less of a headache. So I've just got a new microwave and it's the worst because to set it for 3 or 4 minutes, you have to press a whole bunch of buttons and twiddle the knobs. Whereas in the old one, it was one of those like spring-loaded timers that you just went wind up and then ding at the end. Super quick, super simple, nothing goes wrong. I've even seen a Bluetooth salt shaker. Like, this just smells to me like the company are thinking, how can we just thumb in Bluetooth into something that has no need for it? So the moral of that story is if you're buying a piece of technology, just think, does it really need all the fancy bells and whistles, or is the dumb version better because less can go wrong? Next, thanks to Andrew Robson, says, I have a life hack for people with dogs. You can get reusable lint rollers that you can wash under the tap and reuse at any time. So if you're covered in dog hairs, if you are a bit of a dusty person, or if you're just molting, get a lint roller. Next one, in sleep hacks, I talked about taping your mouth closed when you go to sleep. Now, if you feel you look silly when you're doing that, and instead you want to look really cool, then you can consider getting this instead. The real reason is just it might be slightly safer than taping your mouth closed because you can still open your mouth if you have to. It's just giving you a slight incentive to keep it closed and look really cool while you're doing it. It's worth trying if you're a snorer or if you want to just encourage nose breathing when you're sleeping. Obviously, the big danger is if you're the kind of person who gets a blocked nose frequently, then you don't really want to close off your airway. So just do this at your own risk. Next, hygiene hack. And having had a Muslim upbringing, I can say that my people are particularly hot on their bumhole hygiene. And the 3 cardinal factors of optimal bumhole hygiene are smooth passage, poo quality, and cleaning device. So to maximize your smooth passage, I would recommend hair removal cream. Waxing is painful and it's unwieldy to try and do it yourself. Shaving has a low hit rate, but hair removal cream, simple. Next, for poo quality, have a look at this video where I talk about the 5 ways to have the best poo of your life every single time. And cardinal factor number 3, cleaning device. I would recommend having a shotuffer installed in your house. You can do it for £50-60 and it will change your life. Remember, if you got a bit of poo on your face or your hand, you wouldn't just wipe it off with dry paper, you pervert.
It makes sense. We want people to do this thing. What prior stimuli will we need in order to get them to that place?
It's almost like seeing
people won't use moist lavatory paper. That's one of my total obsessions, by the way. Why the hell? I mean, what is it about the West that thinks that it's okay to wipe your ass with dry paper? We need Japanese toilets. You know, if I were Trump, that'd be day fucking one. Okay, Japanese toilets in every single building. It's disgraceful. You know, the Islamic world's right on that. They have a proper tap. Okay, it's only some weird Western thing. The idea that you wouldn't clean your hands when they were muddy with dry paper, would you? So why do you do the same with your ass? But for whatever reason, okay, people don't really buy moist lavatory paper. So I've got to ask, as an advertising person, what prior conditions might make this more likely? You might say, okay, actually, it's the shelving, because when you look at supermarket shelves, we instinctively derive social information from the relevant prominence and proliferation of dry versus wet paper. And so we look at the supermarket shelves and we go, well, basically, there are a ton of dry toilet rolls all over there, stretching as far as the eye can see. On the top shelf, there are 2 meagre little packets of moist lavatory paper. That means it's basically for perverts or people with a weird medical condition. Why don't you just take one supermarket and have 3 times as much wet paper as there is dry and see how people buy loo paper then?
Final fun fact, apparently the rate of hemorrhoids has gone up massively over the last few years, and they think it's down to smartphones because people are sat pooing and scrolling, and they're sat on the toilet for longer than they should. And so their perianal veins are getting more engorged, more problematic. So all the more reason to improve your poo quality and nail those 3 cardinal factors. What were they? Smooth passage, poo quality, and cleaning device. Next life hack, I would recommend getting a Coredy vacuum cleaner. So these are the autonomous robot vacuum cleaners. I've had a look at the full market and this is definitely the best one of the bunch. It's pretty cost effective as well. I did have a look on Aliexpress and I saw some for cheaper. And honestly, it said on the image, camera on the front is only used to map out your house and data will not be sent to Chinese government. I mean, make of that what you will, but to me that was highly suspicious. So these hoovers, you've probably seen them, they move around your house and they just hoover in the background. You can set it at certain times. So ideally when you're out the house, it can just do it. You never even notice it. It did malfunction once for me and started hoovering the house at 4 a.m. and just bumping into my bedroom door. And eventually I had to get up and send him home. The only thing is, because he's got little feet like that, you need to make sure that there's no stray socks or wires or anything, or he'll just get caught on it and like start choking on it, or he does a little poo sometimes as well if his bag's full.
He's left a bloody trail of poo. Coredy, you've done a poo.
Next, this one has been life-changing for me, is Tozo NC2s. These are noise-cancelling headphones. They're basically AirPod Pro clones, but they cost 40 quid rather than 300 quid. I'm going to get a lot of flack from audio perverts about this, but I've compared these to the regular AirPod Pros, and I didn't notice a difference. The only thing I did notice a difference was the spatial audio, but I'm not a big fan of spatial audio because it makes you feel a bit dizzy, because you turn your head and the music sounds like it's staying in one place. So yeah, they're basically knockoffs of AirPod Pros. They've got the same form factor. They have the noise cancelling. They've got the tap to Siri, next track, previous track, all that stuff, transparency mode, but 40 quid. And I think all things equal, that's an improvement, because you don't have the anxiety of, oh, what if I lose one, or what if I drop it or whatever, because you can easily get a new pair. On that note, I couldn't resist, but I got these from Aliexpress, which are £2 AirPod Pros. You probably can't tell from, because it's not in focus anyway, but they are a very crappy, lightweight version of them. Technically, they do everything that AirPod Pros do, but they are terrible. The sound is, you'd be better off plugging an audio jack into a potato, but there you go. If you want to look cool, you want to look like you've got AirPod Pros and you don't care about audio quality at all, then spend £2 on AliExpress. Next life hack, we're almost there. Get a long phone charger if you travel a lot. A lot of the time, hotel plug outlets are not in the location that you'd want to, and if you just get a 3-meter one, you're sorted. This next one is a game changer, and it saved me multiple times. Put your keys in the fridge. So if you are at someone's house and you need to remember something, or you left your jumper in a certain place, or your coat somewhere, or you might have even be storing food in their fridge. Like if you go into your partner's house and you've done a grocery shop and you want to just store some stuff in their fridge, put your keys there too, and you physically can't leave without them. Obviously, this only works if you're driving, because if you've walked, then it is possible to just get home and then you're like, oh, my keys are now in my friend's fridge. But because your keys or any essential item is in the fridge, it forces you to go, yeah, I need to remember that other thing. Next life hack, contactless charger. You can stick your Tozo NC2s on it. You can stick your fake £2 AirPods on it, although I wouldn't recommend it. It might overheat and set on fire or something. But we're no longer in the era where you can play Snake on your phone and then charge it once a month. So contactless charger, a bit of a no-brainer to be able to just set it down on a desk without having to fumble around with your one charger to rule them all. So where are we? Next, wire tidy. At your desk or your TV or whatever, if you've got loads of stray wires, just get one of these fabric zip wire tidies. Keeps it neat. Next one is this. This is the lumbar support, and it has been fantastic. I haven't got it now, and I'm like slunched over. Is that a word? Hunched and slouched. So without it, you'll become a slunch. Anyway, have a look at our posture video here and our desk setup video also here if you're interested in more. Next, if you need to ship large items across the country, don't bother with this Royal Mail parcel force nonsense. Have a look at Shipley. Shipley is basically an auction. So you post a job and it's a bunch of guys with big vans that will bid on your job and say, yeah, I'll take your sofa to Devon for 50 quid. And it's always cheaper and pretty quick. It's literally a marketplace for a bloke with a big van to come to your house, take the large item and ship it to the person. On that note, I hate going to the post office because it's so antithetical to who I am as a person, and you have to stand and wait in the queue, and there's some old biddy counting out change, and then there's a guy like picking his lottery numbers, and then there's someone ordering 2 packs of cigarettes, and instead, Hermes, they come to your house, they collect the stuff. I'm a little goblin recluse, and I don't want to have to leave the house unless I have to. So the idea of someone coming to pick up your parcel and dealing with it is amazing. So Hermes pick up parcel from home service. I don't think it's called that, but they should change the name because it's got a real ring to it. Hermes pick up your parcel from home service. Final few. So when you're putting on a t-shirt and you always get it the wrong way round, remember the label is always on the left side. Speaking of clothes, get a good friend to take you clothes shopping. Obviously, make sure you trust their style, but put yourself in their hands. You'll be able to get out of your own head. They'll give you the feedback. You'll be able to just batch purchase all of your clothes for the next year, and then you can do the same favor for them. It's a nice bonding experience as well. On that note, every time you put on an item of clothing, get deliberate and get conscious and ask yourself, do I want to keep this or do I want to throw this away? Quite often we hold on to things just because they're ours and we don't want to get rid of it, even though we'd never actually wear that thing. So you can set yourself rules. You can say, if I've not worn this in 6 months, I'm going to throw it away, or 12 months if it's seasonal. Or you can say, I'm only going to buy a new piece of clothing if I throw another one out. So 1 in, 1 out. Next, keep a list of films to watch, series to watch, books to read in one of your Apple Notes. And also when you do it, if they've been recommended to you, put the name of the person who recommended it to you. That way, you can go and personally hunt them down if it was crap, but also it helps you to triage it in your own mind of being like, okay, does my taste match this person's taste? Otherwise, you're picking between Homes Under the Hammer and Pulp Fiction. Before, I was talking about smart technology often being a pain in the arse, and I have tried digital plug timers to turn lights on and off or chargers and that kind of thing, and they're so complicated and they often go wrong. The same thing with smart connectors or smart timers, where often it then hinges on having the connection to your router and then connecting your phone to the thing, and there's just much more involved in it. Usually, all you need in a plug timer is on at this time, off at this time. So just get a dumb one. The more Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and everything's in something, the more problems that you can get from it. Also, if you're concerned about the physiological effects of EMF, then you want as few Wi-Fi devices as possible. The other thing you can do is plug your router into a plug timer, and then at least you get some respite from EMF at night, and see if you sleep better. Always worth testing. Final physical life hacks, time blocking. This has just been a life changer for me. Have a look at our productivity series for more on this, but it's one of the most powerful tools to just set a window of time that you are doing a thing, and as soon as you've consciously made that decision, you are then instantly at peace with all the things that you're not doing. And that's both halves of the productivity battle. Doing what you're doing and not doing what you're not doing. And then the final one, this is going to sound silly, but meditate in the toilet. Because you go to the toilet 3 to 5 times a day. How long do you spend in the toilet? 3 to 5 minutes. That's easy meditation volume that you can build into your day. So when you say, I haven't got time to meditate, well, there's 25 minutes of your day made. Ooh, that was longer than expected, but well done for making it this far. That is physical life hacks. We've got some great ones to come. We've got money hacks, physique hacks, coaching hacks, food hacks, car hacks, productivity hacks, digital hacks. There's loads. So subscribe to the channel to see the rest of them. Otherwise, have a look at this.